Everyone. It was probably just before Christmas that Earl said to me, "Would you be up for talking at our Easter service?" And never in a million years did I dream that we'd be in the situation we are in now. I don't think any of us could have predicted we'd be in lockdown with a virus swirling around the world. I want to tell you a little bit of a story about how it's affected us a little bit. And everybody has a little story to tell and will have stories to tell after this, I am sure. My mother-in-law was meant to be coming to visit us for Easter. Often one of our moms comes for Easter, which is just wonderful. And we were all very, very much looking forward to it. She would have been here now, actually. And our little Rose, every time she knew Grandma was coming for Easter, because every time she found there was a kit that we had from the States. The company's called PAS. They don't make it here in the UK. PAAS. And it's an egg decorating kit. And we always get those when we're there and bring them back so we can do it at Easter. And we had it hidden somewhere in the living room. And she would find it. And we'd always say, "No, Rose. Easter, Grandma." Okay, so she would then repeatedly go over to that spot in the lounge and pick it up and say, "Grandma, Grandma," to the point that we finally had to hide it and put it somewhere else because she wouldn't leave it alone. Well, we've obviously explained to the girls what's going on and how Grandma can't come because of the virus, but that we know she'll come as soon as she can, but this is the situation we're in now. You explain these things to children, though, and they don't always understand, do they? Well, the other night I was putting Rose to bed, and I picked up an Easter book. And as soon as I picked up the Easter book, she said, "Grandma." I said, "No, Rose, I'm really sorry. Remember, Grandma can't come at Easter." She said, "No." I said, "I'm sorry, Rose. Grandma can't come this time. She will come later." And Rose said, "No, hold me." And as you can imagine, that broke my heart a bit, because I really wanted my mother-in-law here too, as did Rose and her big sisters. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing when things we look forward to don't go the way we expect. There's a verse in the Bible, in Proverbs 13, verse 12, and it says this: "Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life." And I know I've heard of lots of canceled holidays and lots of situations that are really difficult. Right now, the virus is making our hope deferred and our heart sick. Things we were looking forward to maybe for a long time aren't happening. And that's not easy. It's not easy when we get let down. It makes our heart sick. I looked up what kind of a bit more of a definition of that, and it says the heart is grieved, it's worn out. And it's true, isn't it? Our heart can feel very grieved and worn out when what we're looking forward to, what we're hoping for, doesn't happen. And I think about Easter, and I think about all those years ago when the disciples, his mother Mary watched Jesus hang on the cross. And I can bet their hearts were sick, that their hearts were worn out, that they were grieved. Because even though they knew and he told them he was rising again, it didn't make sense. They looked at that cross and they looked at him hanging there, and it didn't make sense. How could he rise again? Their hearts were sick. Their hearts were worn out. But there's an end to that verse. A longing fulfilled is a tree of life. And there's an end to the Easter story. That's more than chocolate and Easter bunnies, even though those are a lot of fun. And that is that Jesus rose. He rose again. He was with them again. He was on that cross one day, and a few days later, he rose again. And he was with them, and he is with us. And in our grief, in our worn outness, he is with us. It doesn't mean it's always easy. But because that hope has been fulfilled, But because he rose again, I know I have a God I can depend on always to be with me. Hope is alive. It's not deferred. It is always with us. And hope has a name. The name is Jesus. God bless you. Happy Easter.